on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Don Lemon, obviously, giving a lot there. We've got some Epstein file stuff out. I'm going to kind of touch base on that real quick right up front. I do have a couple things that are a little on the disturbing side, if you will, from Epstein files. But what I saw in my progression of pulling information was overwhelming amount of stuff regarding Epstein and all the horrible things he's done. So I'm going to start here and let you guys know something about myself. Friedrich Nietzsche, very smart dude, philosopher, put out a wonderful quote. Beware that, when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. I've said before, the only way you can ever get rid of something is to not talk about it, not look at it, not think about it, not do any energy towards it, and then it can disappear. Can't until that happens. Now, I also want everybody to know what you focus on, you will experience, you will see, and, like Nietzsche is suggesting, to a degree, you will become. There's a lot of really, really, really nasty stuff that's being shared in the Epstein files. I've seen stuff that I can't unsee already, and it had nothing to do with Epstein. It has to do with the torture. Some horrific stuff. Some of our wonderful friends that many of us hope get justice at some point. But we must make choices carefully. So I'm just going to warn people out there. One, I, myself, am not going to do any sort of heavy Epstein deep dig. I'm sure enough of all the crazy crap that was going on. I can speculate plenty. I can assume some of the worst people. I mean, Rothschilds are involved in emails with him. So again, the tippy top of everybody is involved. This is a giant conspiracy against mankind, and I assume this is more for the normies than necessarily all of us, though I am 100% sure a huge part of my audience is very, just foaming at the mouth right now because they want to get their hands on all this crap. So again, just be careful. That's all I gotta say. I know most people are like, it won't happen to me. If you're incorrect, it will. I've had a lot of sacrifice I've made. I seriously didn't realize, just talking about the news. And, having an opinion that's not popular necessarily with everybody else. I really didn't know. I'm center-leaning. I'm still center-leaning. I'm center-left. Still. People call me a commie. I think it's funny as hell. I'm conservative for the most part when it comes to how the government should be run, and, don't tread on me. But, socially, I've been in theater and stuff, man. I've just known a lot of people that are, a little different than everybody else. So I'm a lot cooler with that than I think a lot of people in our general fence. But it's a very interesting time. That's all I can say. And people will judge you harshly for not sharing their views. Now, a lot of us, it's cool. It takes a very strong person to not care what other people think. Very strong person. And I think that'll be one of the big surprises. Again, most people are going to tell me, Dan, you're wrong. I hear it all the time. Even from people close to me. They're like, no, it's not true. All right, you'll find out, I guess. That's all I got to say. There's something to be said about wisdom, folks. And when you don't got it, you don't got it. Trying our best, though. Tom Homan tells Fox News that Trump administration has found over 145,000 of the 300,000 missing kids. That's pretty crazy.
Our Tom Homan revealing 145,000 unaccompanied migrant children have been rescued from Biden-era neglect. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the Biden administration lost more than 450,000 children because of its open border policies. And now DHS says it will not stop until every last child is found. Here to discuss is HHS whistleblower Tara Rhodes. Tara, it's so great to have you on for our viewers to remind them of who you are. You are somebody who raised the flag when you were working at DHS, that there were MS-13 members trying to sponsor children, and you saved those children from that horrible fate. Tara, we've now seen 145,000, almost half, found in just 1 year by the Biden administration, by DHS, Kristi Noem, the border czar, and HHS. How do you feel about this progress?
Well, hi, good morning, Rachel.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to be with you. And thank you so much for continuing to shine a light on this critical issue of the missing children. Yes, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, he first secured the border, which absolutely cut down on the flow and in the child trafficking economy. And so that was the first critical move. And their next critical step was to put new leadership at the Office of Refugee Resettlement, which is part of HHS, which is where the children were being trafficked from, the Office of Refugee Resettlement. So they put some great, intelligent folks there. John Fabricatore, who is a senior advisor, also Acting Director Salazar, and their collaboration now with ORR, so the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the FBI, and DHS, they've been able to go out, do a concerted effort, door knocking, finding these children. It's wonderful news.
Yeah, it sure.
It's super wonderful news, right? Without a doubt. So we're making progress. We're getting there. And so, yeah, that's pretty awesomeness. Without a doubt. Just because it's sort of relevant. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of like easy target. But this is chaos in Somalia's parliament. This is what it's like where Ilhan Omar comes from. This is what her heritage is. This is what she's used to. Again, I don't have an issue per se with Somalians, but their social skills, huge issue.
xildhibaanada gadaal jooga idinkoo mahadsan ayaa maaragtay insha Allah inta isku soo noqon doona xildhibaanada hooga xildhibaanada sharafta leh
I think a couple of those guys have a Leering Center nearby. This whistle, oh my God. Whistle thing's crazy. Fucking crazy. Data Republicans posted this. Dear, stop ICE users. And we're going to find out if this is true, by the way. I think this person's got some inside knowledge. It's kind of fun because they've had a couple interesting posts. This guy's been popping up in my feed, and it's well worth it, it seems. But they say, yes, your information was hacked. Yes, your locations were being stored because you signed up to receive alerts when ICE was in your area. Yes, your plain text passwords were deciphered. The hackers haven't released this to the public, but a lot of the federal agencies now have this information. You will know by next week. We are not lying. Now, here's the fun part about this if you think about it. Now, all these people are smart. When they go into the riots, they're using burner phones, aren't they? But when they sign up for these communications, well, they're not using burner phones because they'd have to constantly create new apps, wouldn't they? Or new accounts. No, most of them are probably using their regular home device and or cell phones. These guys never realized. Again, I knew, like, when Signal came out, I'm like, it's no way I'd trust that. It's secure. No, it's encrypted. Yeah, I know. I get they say that. There's no way in hell I would trust that. BlackBerry was one of the best ever. And then they closed them down and took them away from us. Why? Because they were actually secure. This is, again, with the missing kids. Just remember the Tom Homan found 145,000. Here's what the Biden/Obama/ Uniparty, I'm going to say, but Democrats certainly support this stuff too. But needless to say here.
So you're telling this committee that the Biden administration, while they were letting all of these unaccompanied minors into the country, and as we've talked about today, they weren't keeping track of them, they issued these kids a hotline that they could call if they had trouble with the sponsor family that they were put with. And you're saying that 65,000 calls to this hotline designated to protect these kids went unanswered? Is that what you're telling this committee?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know how many staffers the administration assigned to answering these phones and helping these kids? One staffer? Any idea how many hours a day this staffer was working?
know.
Maybe that's why there were 65,000 calls that weren't answered from these little kids, huh? Unbelievable.
65,000 phone calls that they didn't care about from missing children. It's okay though. You know, why care about things like that? I mean, that'd be silly. Bill Mitchell is telling us about the Supreme Court case that just handed down a huge ruling. We'll go ahead and give the Fox News their due on this one. It's fun.
Now we have a Fox News alert. The Supreme Court just cleared the way for Trump to deport illegals even faster. The High Court ruled that Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act to send Venezuelan gangbangers to a mega prison in El Salvador. This is a huge ruling in Trump's favor and a major win for the country. After, as you know, D.C. Judge James Boasberg ordered a stop to the deportations. So this is pretty significant. These deportations, Caroline, can keep going.
This is a massive legal victory, Jesse, a massive victory for law and order and for our constitutional republic and the sovereignty of the United States of America. We called on the Supreme Court to rein in these activist judges like Judge Boasberg, who was completely out of line in trying to say that the president didn't have the executive authority to deport foreign terrorists off of our soil. We have always maintained the position at the White House that the president was well within his constitutional authority to do so. And this decision proves that President Trump and our administration have always been right from the beginning. He will continue to utilize the Alien Enemies Act to remove foreign terrorists and Tren de Aragua members, vicious gang members from American communities. And because of this ruling, the United States of America is a much safer place. Our team will get to work tomorrow to deport these heinous, violent foreign terrorists from our neighborhoods.
And you had another couple critical wins in the court with regard to Doge. Tell us about those. That seems to be making progress.
Yes, absolutely. There have been many wins that the mainstream media has failed to cover, particularly over the weekend. The Supreme Court also ruled that the president does, in fact, have the authority over federal funding, that he can dictate what funds can go out the door and what can't, so long as they are part of the executive branch. So we have always, again, maintained that every executive order the president has signed, every executive action that he has taken has been well within his executive authority. And Doge is doing a tremendous job at cutting back at the waste and the fraud and the abuse that have been ripping off American taxpayers, that have not been aligned with our interests here in our country. So we're going to continue the president's agenda. Again, he's well within his constitutional authority, and it's great to see the Supreme Court reining in these activist judges who are wearing robes but are acting as judicial activists, not as real judges and real arbiters of the law.
All right. Lawyer's wrong. I can't believe a lawyer would ever be wrong. It just amazes me. They think they're always right. I guess not this time. Sorry, Boasberg. We love you, but we're sorry.
We're not sorry at all, Boasberg. We dislike you in every ounce of our being. And depends what wrong means, right? A lawyer would argue. Trump posted this: people of our once great country want law, order, and justice. Got a new survey that was conducted. Now, if Trump is sharing this survey, it's probably closer to the truth than anything. But it's by Harper Polling. And they're showing MAGA-based opinions haven't shifted post-Preeti killing at all. I knew this person. Her name, she was Indian, and her name was Preeti. And if you didn't say Preeti, she'd get pissed. I had this other friend that was Persian, and if you didn't say her name, Bita, and if you didn't say it proper, if you just said Bita, she'd get pissed. It's Bita. It's like, okay. Fuck, man. Anyways, Preeti, I don't know why it's stuck in my head anytime I see that stupid word. Maybe you guys will understand why I keep wanting to say it wrong. Of 800 likely Trump GOP voters, Trump's approval, 92% right now of the 800 likely voters. And this is a poll. Noam's approval's at 81%, overall deportations at 93%, and Noam's strategies, tactics, 87%. Yeah, there's some people that I felt uncomfortable with the Preeti killing. I'm going to be honest. You know it. I know it. I feel uncomfortable with it a little bit. But a lot of things happened wrong that Preeti definitely could have had to do with. He certainly could have done things differently, and he was also not a peaceful protester in any way, shape, or form. Kicked the taillight out just prior. Claimed he had a broken rib, which is an absolute lie, because there's no damn way he would have been moving the way he was, or even out trying to cause harm. I'm sorry. Anybody that's ever cracked a rib, or broken. I can't even imagine if you truly broke. Oh my God, it's got to be so much worse. But yeah, anyway, it's extraordinarily painful. Oh my God, it happened twice. Oh. James O'Keefe exposed as a paid protester nonprofit organization that has a budget of $30 million. I pray to God this is not James O'Keefe. I don't think so. I haven't actually watched this. It's short, though.
This other protester we secretly recorded talks about an organization called Make the Road New York. We've never heard of this organization, but apparently they have a budget of $30 million.
I mean, if you're interested in an immigrants' rights organization, you should look up Make the Road New York.
Make the Road New York?
Make the Road
But who are you with?
I'm just with the union.
Oh.
Yeah. SEIU, Service Employees International.
We looked at the tax returns of Make the Road New York and found they're a registered 501c3 that file a 990, and they received $16 million in grants. We are in the wrong business, everyone. Can you imagine what Nick Shirley could do with $16 million? Can you imagine what James O'Keefe could do with $16 million? The United States government is funding this. We're $36 trillion in debt, or are we $36 trillion in fraud? This other
And really, the answer's there. It's obvious. We are $36 trillion in fraud. Trump is going to be the one that basically says this whole thing's been a fraud. A whole bunch of that debt is based off of fraud. And if they can quantify that in any way, shape, or form, we've got all sorts of legal bounds to either A, sue the Federal Reserve for huge amounts of that debt and just have an immediate reduction. That's one path or one public thing that could happen. But then the absolute cutting off from them at that point and starting our own money. Every country has to have its own money. The central banks and all this nonsense, all this heavy-handed stuff that's been happening for years has to stop. Has to. Or we are never free. They'll corrupt another election with the money they have. So this is all coming down. Now, how quickly, how fast, when's what? Just relax. Relax. As far as I'm concerned, be as much of a part of your moment every day and being involved in your local area, making a difference when you walk into a store, light it up because you are the light. Like, be that always, and we're going to get through this just fine. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. I don't know if I never actually read the book, but it was such a cool title, and I was in my self-help phase of life. I'm just like, I've read like 80 self-help books. I think I get it. Needless to say. I say that too much. Leftist anti-ICE agitators march through Minneapolis. This is busting windows. This is peaceful protest. Feds are more or less chill at the moment, and they're still pissed off. Now, I think that's kind of the point with Trump. You're going to love this, where this goes. And this is where the 14 cities, 17 cities, I don't know, there's a whole lot of people that are making all sorts of claims of how many cities. I kind of doubt it will be both. But whatever. It'll work out how it works out. I don't think it's going to be as severe as they want it to be. That's my point. And all said, I think there's going to be a number of cities that are going to be allowed to get to a certain level of out of control. And then Trump's going to be like, all right, you guys ready to help or you need help yet? And he's going to make the mayors beg for it. I got a statement from Trump that says all this. But so understand that's what's playing out right now. This is optics. This is for all the uniparty people. And this is to show them, all right, feds aren't even really involved. Now you've got this mob of pissed off people. Uh-oh, they're breaking everything everywhere. How weird is that?
They broke into everybody. All of these fucking windows. Every single fucking window. Are you fucking kidding me?
These are regular blue-collar workers that park their cars on the side of roads. First off, it's a shame if you're anywhere around these places where they're likely to riot through. But there you go. Peaceful protests. Just destroyed a bunch of private property of people they didn't even know. Had no idea who they were. They can't assume anything. Unless they had stickers, but they did every single car. So obviously, this is a roving I mean, if one of these things comes marching through your neighborhood, you're screwed. Now, thank God they're kind of staying in the city. I think the second they start doing crazy stuff like that would be shut down in a heartbeat. And I think that's what that rapid response force, the 500 troops that can instantly hop into a scene. And if they know something like this is going on, I'm sure they're kind of like, hey, you guys need to sort of be close there. If we've got to deploy you, then we need to get you into Minneapolis. So I think those 500 forces probably already nearby if they need to be. And again, they couldn't hold off on this. Nah, you'd need a pretty serious force of people. It's just an impressive number of people. This is the come to Jesus moment for everybody right now. It's just the come to Jesus moment. Now, this is impressive to get that many people, especially in a place that's not too warm right now. So, yeah, Minneapolis is all fired up about this. Again, are they going to destroy their city again? You've done it before. You'll do it again. And it'll make an example. This is the second time it's happened in your city. Are you kidding? LA is about to do it for the second time. Got the LA riots back when I was younger. About to have it again. You watch. There's a few cities that are going to let it happen. It's a shame. Well, I don't know. LA would be interesting because there's supposed to be a lot going on with World Cup and stuff. And Trump's probably told them, look, you let a riot happen in that city, I'm pulling World Cup. And LA's like, damn, we need the money. So California actually might be screwed through back-end channels, by the way. It just kind of hit me. It's like, oh, yeah. Trump's probably... So California probably won't burn. New York probably will. We'll see. You guys are messed. But yeah, we got some unrest going on in Los Angeles, by the way, as I try to act like we've got nothing going on. No, they're actually attacking a federal building, which Trump's like, all right, Karen Bass, you go ahead and do what you're doing. White, again, nobody's saying anything. Oops, I guess we're going that way. So, no volume, I guess. But yeah, this is a federal building, by the way. It's an ICE facility. And they literally pushed in this whole thing, and they're pushing it back. They literally pushed back a whole group of Border Patrol agents. And, this is what they're trying to foment. Insurrection. And they want stupid people like us to run out there and, and you're like, yeah, you're going to be an idiot and you're dead, and you're going to, you'll be lucky if you're Rittenhouse or Rittenhouse. What was that dude's name? Rittenhouse? I don't know. Yeah, we gotta... Oh, I'm gonna turn that off. That's still making noise. That'll bug me. Let's see. CNN's miracle. People in L.A. overtook ICE property. They cornered these officers, pushed them back, so that's what we were kind of witnessing there, basically. Federal building sieged by leftists has now been boarded up in Eugene, Oregon, because local police did nothing to stop the insurrection. This is what we're seeing. Lawlessness. And they think it's okay, and it's happening in the worst places. Only the worst would allow this to happen. And there's sanctuary cities for sure. There's just a lot of things in common. They're always Democrat, period. That's just deep, deep, deep blue. And the deepest of blue cities are the ugliest of cities. Seattle, oh gosh, once was a pristine, beautiful city. Once. Here's a bunch of teachers. Shocking video out of Portland, Oregon. Or Oregon, as some people say. Whatever. Shows teacher at the Portland Montessori school. Ah, it's a Montessori school even. Jesus. That's so ridiculous. So these are all, I don't even want to play this. They're all exactly what you would expect. Look, here's the thing. If you've got your kids in a Montessori school, no offense. I mean, I've got one of my dearest friends works, and she's an administrator of a Montessori school. They're fucking, all right, whatever. I'm not trying to rip on them, but, okay. If all the teachers look like this, which I think a lot of them do, oh man, you're fucking in the wrong place if you're one of us in any way, shape, or form. That is not who you want raising your kids. CBP involved shooting after a ramming. Now, they didn't shoot nobody's. They shot the car's tires, and then the car basically gets away. I don't know, it's maybe worth 43 seconds. We'll try.
They left. They got away.
Yeah, they seem to have pretty much got away, and we don't need to hear 22 more seconds of fuck no. But they shot the tires 3 times. One tire, though. That person can drive on a single flat. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not easy. All said. Here is what we're up against, guys. And again, if we let this foment further, we are a quarter of a generation away from being taken over. I think we're getting it. I know we are. And this was a craziness that's spreading. And people feel justified. Here's an example. Literally teaching a small little white child to be a part of. She's got mustard gas or whatever, not mustard gas, but whatever the hell you use. Peppered spray. It's kind of mustard. Or mustard's a pepper. Anyway, whatever. I lost that one. It's my fault. Insurgency. This is Adam Hughes put this out, but the ICE Watch determined multiple ICE agents were attending a church service and dispatched insurgents. When the service ended, the Christians were harassed and attacked as they tried to reach their cars. This is what they are doing right now, and kind of on the insane side. Yeah, we're not playing all this, but yeah, they had a drone ahead. This is people getting out of church. Can't open the gates, can't get out there. Now, if they come across, that's FACE Act. Every one of those people gets 40 years, which Don Lemon talked. Anyway, it's a lot. But yeah, these guys, this is pretty scary, right? If this is what you're dealing with, just to have faith, and this is where the agents were at, and then they're going to go out in what numbers? This is like just really, you can protest all you want, but protesting specific, like people's lives, people's families, people's safety. Mobs are not safe, ever. They get riled up very easy. This is just, again, they're messing with the wrong people, and fortunately, we're staying chill. Donald Trump truthed this out, very long, but it's worth the read. I have instructed Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, that under no circumstances are we going to participate in various poorly run Democratic cities with regard to their protests and or riots unless and until they ask us for help. We will, however, guard, and very powerfully so, any and all federal buildings that are being attacked by these highly paid lunatics, agitators, and insurrectionists. Please be aware that I have instructed ICE and or Border Patrol to be very forceful in this protection of federal government property. There will be no spitting in the faces of our officers. There will be no punching or kicking the headlights of our cars. And there will be no rock or brick throwing at our vehicles or at our patriot warriors. If there is, those people will suffer an equal or more consequence. In the meantime, by copy of this statement, I am informing local governments, as I did in Los Angeles when they were rioting at the end of the Biden term, that you must protect your own state and local property. In addition, it is your obligation to also protect our federal property, buildings, parks, and everything else. We are there to protect federal property only as a backup, in that it is local and state responsibility to do so. Last night in Eugene, Oregon, these criminals broke into a federal building and did great damage, also scarring and harassing the hardworking employees. Local police did nothing in order to stop it. We will not let that happen anymore. If local governments are unable to handle the insurrectionists, agitators, and anarchists, we will immediately go to the location where such help is requested and take care of the situation very easily and methodically, just as we did the Los Angeles riots 1 year ago, where the police chief said that we couldn't have done it without the help of the federal government. Therefore, to all complaining local governments, governors, and mayors, let us know when you are ready, and we will be there. But before we do so, you must use the word please. Remember that ICE stated in the strongest of language to beware. ICE, Border Patrol, or, if necessary, our military will be extremely powerful and tough in the protection of our federal property. We will not allow our courthouses, federal buildings, or anything else under our protection to be damaged in any way, shape, or form. I was elected on a policy of border control, which has now been perfected, national security, and law and order. That's what America wants, and that's what America is getting. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Capital letters, President Trump. The insurrectionists will be stopped. This is that reactionary force. I think they spin in and protect a building, and they can instantly create a perimeter around a building. They don't need to do anything more than that. If anybody starts throwing stuff, they can arrest, they can pepper spray. They've got those sonic technologies, which they might start employing and likely have on this reactionary force. They've got those sound things. This is common knowledge. They've had it forever. You can create a very uncomfortable situation for crowds. You can just spin it on a crowd and cook them back. I mean, just cook them back. I mean, it gets hot. It's uncomfortable. You want to get out of it. And it's very focused. Yeah. They could say, well, you can't do that. Well, we had a huge crowd destroying a building, Judge, and you're telling us that we're supposed to just let them destroy the building? No, thank you. We've got police that are about to arrest you, Judge. And I'm wondering when stuff like that's going to start happening, because some of what the judges are doing, I know they've probably got some sort of weird immunity because they're on the bench, but some of what these guys are doing is illegal. So it's always interesting. Steven Crowder posted this. Minneapolis ICE Gov agents are being targeted with bullseyes in apparent assassination threats. Again, kind of Crowder's motif, but yeah, there's a lot of people in Signal chat. They've infiltrated one of the groups, supposedly, and they're sharing targets of different agents. That's illegal. Again, these people are probably being found out. We'll see. One thing leads to the other, that's for sure. Rep. Randy Fine moves to investigate Minnesota Lieutenant Governor over anti-ICE activity. Check it out.
Lieutenant Governor Flanagan seems to be the only one creating chaos and anarchy, or whatever it was she said in her clip. It appears from these Signal chat groups that have been used to frankly organize a militia in search of an insurrection in Minneapolis. These are not peaceful protests by random people like you with your sign that you showed before the break. These are organized and paid for government-fronted militias. And Ms. Flanagan appears to be one of the key organizers of it. So I've introduced legislation that would create an investigation of her. And if she's found what appears to be the case, then she would get arrested and go to prison. Because you can't have states organizing militias to fight the federal government. We had a civil war over that 100 years ago.
Which, I mean, maybe you do need legislation, because that's essentially what she is doing, is helping foment an insurrection, which I think would classify her as an insurrectionist, though, wouldn't it? And isn't that technically illegal? Isn't that heavily federal? Now, again, do we have judges that we can trust? We've got the stupid blue slip law, so we've got a Senate that, again, 95 senators need to go. We're going to keep 5 of them. That's my rough guesstimate. Maybe we can work at some deals, and we'll see what Trump even thinks, but I think it's 5, roughly, that I'm willing to keep. I mean, that's a messed up situation, right? This is what we've got. So we can't even put good judges in because we've got asshole senators, almost all of them. And because of that, we can't actually protect ourselves. Guys, the insurrection was almost complete. Of course, we can't get things through. That's what we all need to look at when we go to the polls. Now, the Democrats are in like, everybody's going to come back to Democrat. It's like, no, nobody's ever going to be a Democrat again. What's going to happen is there will be a primary person that Trump approves. Everybody will vote for them. We will change government. Now, they are fighting us tooth and nail, the Uniparty, specifically senators even. We'll get there somewhere. FBI smashes Latin Kings network and 13 city gang offensives. So good stuff there. Patel did his discussion on it. So anyway, they're taking it down. I just want to give some credit where due. I don't need to spend too much time there. All right, so some of the election stuff. This is what we're up against. This is what's going on. Trump's making the case. This is the noise. It's putting heat under it because this is going to have to be, when he does the executive order or whatever it is, presidential act or whatever the things are, the two things he does, whatever. If he does one of those, the courts are going to want to stop it, but he's going to do it in a place where they kind of can't, especially once it's gotten going. And the amount of evidence that will have been presented to the public for a judge to say there's not any evidence that says that the elections were tainted. Be like, where have you been, Judge? You been watching MSNBC or MS Now or whatever the shit they call themselves? Nobody cares. Nobody knows. Odds of Trump winning these states before counting stopped. This is the 2020 election. It's stupid it's not over yet. Oh my God. God help us all. God help us all. Dude's gonna, anyway, let's be nice. Georgia, they're up 8% and 83% in 90, what is this? Oh, Georgia, Trump was up 8%. Oh, and 83% was in. I gotcha. Lord, that reads weird. So yeah, there was Trump's 99% chance of winning there. Pennsylvania, he was up 16.2%, 64% in, 99% chance. Was it Missouri? Up 10.4, and he 59% still to count. He's 97%. He was going to win. He was up so much that it was just the way things were trending. Wisconsin, he was up 4.9%, and 82% count was in. He had a 97% chance of being the winner there. Odds of losing all four, they're saying 1 in 11.1 million. Mostly I like the fact that these are all great numbers. So a bunch of zeros and a 9. 3 ones and another 1, so 4 ones. That's just good numbers. All I can say. Look, here's the thing, guys. Yeah, they totally screwed us on the election. Trump reposted this. This is his Pennsylvania thing. We're going to play it from here because it's kind of cool. Check it out.
Pennsylvania had over 1.5 million fraudulent votes counted, and the spread is less than 82,000 votes. These fraudulent votes come from dead voters, ballots that were received before they were supposedly mailed out, and over 330,000 electronic spikes from the voting machine. 205,000 overvotes, meaning there were 205,000 more votes than registered voters, and 682,000 ballots that were illegally processed without any oversight whatsoever. More than 1.5 million votes in Pennsylvania is apparently what it took for Joe Biden to steal the state. Georgia has a similar phenomenon that Democrats are failing to account for. 66,248 underage voters voted in Georgia. 10,315 dead people voted. 2,500 convicted felons voted. Nearly 200,000 votes were fraudulently inserted into the vote count instantaneously. 4,500 votes come from unregistered voters. These numbers show a clear pattern that a variety of types of fraud occurred in this election and that Democrats are desperately trying to cover it up. They are going to great lengths to change the narrative of the election fraud in an effort to run out the clock to January 20th, 2020. In addition to President Trump's team, many independent groups have completed research on the fraud, and the results are staggering. Totaling across the country, millions of votes were fraudulently covered up, changed, or deleted in favor of Joe Biden. The governors and secretaries of state have actively participated in the cover-up, removing information from their website that is normally easily accessible to the public and depriving conservatives a chance to audit or review the results are just some of their tactics. In Arizona, the final result is only a difference of 10,457, yet 36,400 non-citizens voted in the state. Arizona also experienced phantom spikes from the voting machines to the tune of roughly 50,000 additional votes going to Joe Biden. These numbers come from information that is publicly available, whether from the Secretary of State's website before the content was removed or from the raw data that was pushed out on election night.
I like how people just keep trying to do like the old news. Like everybody's like, it's like OAN's a great network. Got nothing bad to say about them, but they're doing old news format. I mean, it's cool to have, people that can hop on and give you video and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just funny. It's very like proper. It's just hilarious to me because I'm definitely not about that. I was brought up in that environment a little bit, and I hate it. I freaking hate it. I have made a lot of intentional choices, my friends. Consensus data signals deep trouble for Demis after 2030. Yeah, the whole, like I said, all this like, oh, this person sucks. They're going to, the Democrats are going to take back power. No, they're not. The Democrats are being destroyed and destroying themselves. Most people are fleeing the Democrat Party in droves. There's no way they're going to go vote for one of those tards that are calling themselves a Democrat. They might put commercials everywhere. They might buy every single bus seat in the entire world, and it won't matter. It'll make us sicker of them. It'll disgust us. It'll be beautiful. It's the primary stuff that's really going to matter. So yeah, 2030 Democrat Party is probably, like, it's going to be such an insignificant party. There'll likely be some other party that the independent party will probably make, maybe. Outside of that, I don't think it'll matter that much in the big picture. I think most of us, and what's happening, big picture, I don't think it's going to matter that much, frankly. I think in a few years, this world's going to look very differently than it does right now. The way it's moving, the pace it's moving very, very quickly, and just how it's dividing and separating. It literally is separating wheat from chaff. There's a lot of assumptions in how quickly things are supposed to happen, and I think we're all living through it. And it's last time we probably felt like this was probably a collective, anyway, was during the Civil War, where this kind of dislike for each other existed. And I would generally say, I think our side tends to fare nicer in just general. Like, you come on in. You once were one of them. Oh, my God bless you. We love you. I'm glad you're here. It's fantastic. The other way, it's like, they're like, scorn, start throwing shit at you. It's like, these guys are much friendlier. United States citizens, this is Attorney General from Missouri. United States citizens have a right to representation, not illegal aliens. United States citizens should decide electoral votes in congressional seats, not illegal aliens. We are suing U.S. Census Bureau for unconstitutionally allowing illegal aliens to commandeer the path to the White House and compromise our elections. That is cool. So again, it takes a few district court. What are they going to drop it? That'll get up to the Supreme Court anyway. That's like a big, big deal anyway. I mean, I'll go to a state's. No, it's got to go to some federal court. Very interesting. Probably D.C. I assume they filed that, right? Have to be. That's going to be interesting. Guys, this is going to be the craziest year of your life. Probably. And I think from here it just starts to. It's like trying to catch the wave. If any of you have ever done that, it's like that. And then you're like, oh, I got it. And then it's like trying to get up on the board. But still. We got the wave, I think. It's happening. It's just, this is going to be a bit of a rocky road, we could say. So, special prosecutor that Pam Bondi has brought in, they've been empowered to investigate election integrity cases nationwide. United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, Thomas C. Albus, which is where the other Attorney General lady is. According to a report in Bloomberg, AG Pam Bondi used 28 U.S.C. 515 to give Albus the authority to conduct voter fraud probes anywhere in the United States. He can, quote, coordinate civil and criminal cases, including grand jury proceedings in all 94 U.S. attorney districts. Wow. So this dude, and thank you, Just Human, this dude is going to, or dudette, I don't know, I think it's a man. He will change. Well, he'll legally have the right to bring cases in panel, grand juries and stuff like that. So, yeah, that'd be crazy. Now, what's funny, Rep. Dan Goldman, who I hate to say it does look like Dr. Z. I just think it's funny as hell. He got really mad when I said that, and I don't blame him because this guy's kind of a dickhole, but he does kind of look like him, that's all. Democrat Rep. Dan Goldman just filed to ban the Trump administration and DOJ from investigating voter fraud nationwide, including election records, ballot boxes, and voting machines. They are panicking. This dude is freaking out. So, Fulton County, Georgia raid is going to tell us a lot. Now, it is one of the best visual things that I remember seeing. Guys, correct me if there's something better. There's a lot of small-scale stuff, and you can add that up, and it's fun. But large-scale was that Georgia election. Those ladies pulled stuff out, hiding under tables, and just started scanning the same stacks. We all watched the same videos. We're just like, she just stuck that same stack of papers in there 5 times. 5 times. They're just doing the same votes. That is and it's the ones that got Giuliani's money, which is even sweeter. Giuliani, you are a rock star for taking this, man, because you had to, I mean, maybe he had some karma he had to pay back in some weird way, but whatever, man. He had to take it bad because he lost some stuff. I think he got to keep his rings, or they were somehow missing or something. I don't know. I think there was some funny shenanigan shit that he did that was pretty smart, but he had some cool World Series rings, I guess. FBI director provides an update as far as this election investigation in Fulton County. Now, spoiler alert, he doesn't say a whole hell of a lot, but I love Cash, and I want you guys to hear what he's saying.
Director Patel, I want to start with the news, and the news is out of Fulton County, Georgia. I know this is an ongoing investigation, but the FBI on Wednesday did obtain a search warrant to look at this Fulton County election hub to access physical ballots, electronic ballot images, and voter rolls. Is there anything you can share at this moment?
Hey, Kaylee, it's great to be with you. Look, like any other investigation, the FBI follows the facts and the law, and President Trump and the Attorney General have given us clear mandate to reduce crime in this country and investigate anything that rises to the level of probable cause. And what we did, the FBI, with our partners at the Department of Justice and the AG, led out on an extensive effort to conduct interviews and an investigation, which led us to a probable cause to be delivered to a judge who found probable cause for us to execute that search warrant, which you saw and the nation saw yesterday. And what we did was what we do in any other investigation. We went in there, we followed the rules of the search warrant. The FBI and the DOJ went in and collected numerous pieces of evidence that the judge authorized us to collect. And what we're going to do next is go through the voluminous amounts of information collected and continue our investigation. At this point, there's not much more I can say publicly because we have to go through a lot more material, but it was predicated upon a finding of probable cause by a judge in Georgia.
And I think this is arguably my biggest frustration with most of the public. We want things too quickly, way too quickly. And us, I think, as important creators and helpers and ripplers, we just have to remember that we're going to be at this a lot longer and at a very much more patient level than most. And it's important to be that as much as you can. You can hate it all you want. It is what it is, though, right? Again, when they hand you lemons, you make lemonade. I don't like lemonade. Well, that's all we got. It's lemons right now, frankly. And you'll die from scurvy if you don't take it. So, I don't know. What do you want to do? Right? All right, I'll have some lemons. Cool. We had sugar at least. Right? The Georgia 2020 elections in just 3 minutes. Oh, these guys, I was actually impressed with this, I think. Let's play this. Let's play this. It's going to be long. By the way, I just want everybody to know, I'm only doing one commercial today. I'm giving you guys a break. So just so you know, should get an extra thumbs up on that. Extra thumbs up for all you people that hate that I do super long commercials. All right. Give me a thumbs up and I'll see it. I'll see this big spike. I'll have like 5,000 thumbs up, which never happens. And I'll be like, all right, I'll try to work on shortening my commercials. But that said, the elections are important. And I think we all need these guys did a good job. CanCon, these guys are all, I think, in the what are those guys? Patel Patriot and all them. Here it is anyway.
Been working a ton in Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, but mainly lately in Georgia. I don't think any of you guys understand how much shit is missing in Georgia. The machine count, the first machine count, the election day ballots that they scanned that people voted in person, we don't have those ballot images. The only images we have from Georgia, from Fulton County, is the second machine count images. Now, coincidentally, the Dominion voting machines, they create, every time a ballot image is created on these ICX machines, they also create a hash validation file, so you can ensure that when you look at that ballot image, you can take that hash validation file and ensure that that ballot image has not been tampered with. Those are gone too. I mean, it's just an absolute shit show. And then they say, well, we did 3 counts. We did a machine count, a hand count, and a machine count. Well, the hand count in Curling v. Raffensperger, Philip Stark, who is no friend of the right, came out and flat out said that you can't do a hand count on this because you're counting crap. You're auditing, you're doing a risk limit audit on crap, you're counting crap, you don't know that these ballots line up. it's just absolutely disgusting how much they got away with. We literally have shown them Dropbox custody forms. This is related to 2,000 Mules. Dropbox chain of custody forms that are duplicated. They took a copy, scanned it, and said, this is this day and this day. The same exact document. They even tried to cancel it out and change the numbers, and they decided not to. And they went back. We have poll tapes, like an overwhelming majority. We're talking like 80, 90% of the poll tapes. Nobody signed them. Nobody signed them as witnesses. None of the poll managers, the poll workers, nobody signed the tape. That is a document. That is a chain of custody document. And they wouldn't put their names on it. Did anybody ask them why? Did anybody ask any of these poll workers why they wouldn't put their names on it? It's so insane. And then we get this report from CISA, the Cyber and Security Infrastructure, whatever it is, agency, Chris Krebs and Safest Election Ever, that bullshit that he fed us early on. We get a letter from them after the Haldeman report, which is still sealed, by the way, because, that's the appropriate thing to do is when the election systems that we paid for, United States citizens paid for the whole entire free world, when an expert comes out that they touted as a hero in Antrim County for figuring out what happened in Antrim County, he's touted as a hero. He puts this report out and the federal judge immediately seals it. And now CISA comes out and says, we read it. It's pretty bad. You need to do rigorous post-election audits, all this stuff. So what happens in 2022? Brad Raffensperger and Brian Kemp outperform polls by over 20%. Yeah. 20% to win re-election in Georgia. Are there any risk-limiting audits? No.
We are, again, need to see this because once this comes out and enough of the public knows and the ripples you guys make with regards to elections, I've been saying it forever, elections are everything, not as gaily as others with their stupid laugh, but nonetheless, still one of the most important things that we deal with is elections. If we don't have free, fair elections, we have nothing. Now, everybody's so panicking. Oh, we're going to lose the next election. Why do you think that? That's seriously absurd. Oh, so-and-so said it. I don't give a fuck what they said. It doesn't matter. Look at what's happening around us. Even in my state, we'll get there eventually. We're pissed off about the stupid shit that's actually starting to happen because they're broke. And they're looking for more money. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess, people. We have to see this. Because, again, and I'm wondering, because I got a story, too. It's going to make me kind of dig into this a little bit more, too. But you got to wonder, because courts and the ones that are going to come out and say, Trump can't do an executive order for the elections, because we've kind of already got that sort of happening. It's from a way old executive order, though. So maybe that's just going to get heard, and then that'll decide it. I'm kind of not sure exactly how this goes. But we'll get there. Shutdown, I'm hearing mixed stuff. I saw one thing that suggested that maybe they voted on in the Senate. I believe that means it's got to go back to the House. House isn't coming back till Monday, so whatever happened in the Senate, we'll get a better rundown tomorrow. But the shutdown possibly began, I want to say Saturday night, and it still hasn't been voted on by the House. So it's not. I mean, there is a shutdown, whether it be for a few days or longer. We've got Anna Paulina Luna saying, hey, look, it's got to have that FACE Act stuff in there, SAVE Act, the stuff for the voting, secure it with an ID. That's got to happen. So we'll see. There's a lot at stake, and hopefully maybe, because I think maybe the House and maybe, Luna's kind of on this, and but maybe we're at a place where finally we can hold the ground, and the bad press that it's going to get, we can kind of deal with. We'll see, because there's a lot that's being pushed. We've got the rioting stuff that Trump's kind of trying to push people into the wrong direction because of that, because it just makes it easy to round up the criminals. That's what we're doing. The people that are in these groups are criminals. They're paid for thugs, insurrectionists within our own country. Let's run them through the system. We'll have to put them someplace. Large quantities of people are going to get stored. We just got a giant building in Arizona. You guys remember that? We just bought it for $77 million. Huh. I wonder indeed. Here's Senator Mike Lee. By the way, dude, Utah, maybe you guys are doing a good thing, but you're freaking me out what you're doing it and how you're doing it. Really freaking me out, kind of. So, whatever. We'll get there in a sec. But Senator Mike Lee from Utah, he's a little pissed off at the senators for not getting rid of this USAID, this African Defense Fund or some African Development Fund. There it is. D-word fund. Yeah, so he's pissed. Let's play it. Oh, let's play it this way. Actually, it's better. Okay, cool.
Votes are still ongoing. I just stepped outside for a moment to give you an update on the US ADF vote. We cast it just a few minutes ago. Now keep in mind, this vote to defund US ADF was supported by the acting chairman and CEO of US ADF itself. And his call to defund it was based on an indictment and a guilty plea of this chief financial officer, among other things that led to him calling it a culture of waste, fraud, and abuse. It was also echoed by the Department of War's Doge office. And this was set at a simple majority threshold, should have been easy. Republicans acting alone could have, would have, and should have defunded this today. But instead, what was the result? Well, it was defeated. All Democrats voted to table it, and they were joined by just enough Republicans, just a small handful of them, to table this measure with a vote of 58 to 42. But I look forward, let's just say, to hearing my colleagues explain this vote.
I love what he said. I watched it before, but the whole time, and it bugs me, and it made me laugh, actually, and I just thought I would share it with you guys, because you watched it, you listened to him. What he said is important. Remember that forever. I couldn't unfocus from the fact that I'm like, this dude's walking down some crazy-ass tunnel. It's probably one of their little special tunnels. I get it. Maybe he's going for a cigarette or something. Who knows? I just snuck out. He's walking in one direction. I ain't sneaking out. You're going out for a cigarette or something, man. You're a man on a mission. But what I then laughed at is, to be able to have a cell phone do anything inside of this facility, you got to have like repeaters in this facility. Now, of course, they're secure. Of course they are. But that means that the government or the looky-loos, everything that you guys do on your phones passes through those stupid repeaters. Everything. Anything these people are ever doing inside these tunnels, ever, for the last, 20 years, 15 years? I don't know. However long cell phones have been out, at least. Just think about that for a second. Think about how much stuff NSA has. It's funny as hell. Funny as hell, my friends. Let's see. Democrats flip Texas state Senate seat. This sucks. This is, what was it, Houston? And again, is it we just can't trust our elections, or do we not ripple harder enough out there? Again, I have a hard time. I was always trying to get a lot of you guys fired up. Now, I do happen to know people that live in that area. But, yeah, like I can't cover every dang state. I don't think my shows are already stupid long. Can't even imagine. If I tried to actually learn about each state, that would fucking be a horrible, horrible use of my life. So, yeah, Texas, be careful, guys. Get your shit under together. They got your elections. They're taking your cities. Dude, seriously. Y'all got... if you guys were like Californians before, they fucking California up. And guess what, Texas? You're getting fucked up. So I guess what? Everyone's going to leave Texas now? What are you guys going to go? Florida? Fucking Panhandle's going to fall into the ocean. Remember the Alamo. Don't give up, guys. Because you are in a world of hurt. Federal judge refuses to block Trump's ICE surge in Minnesota. This... I thought was interesting. This is the one that made me think that maybe, in some weird way, a message has gotten down to some of these district judges. Be very careful how you try to stop the administration, because unless you've got extremely good law on your side, that will be bad for you if you don't, essentially, right? Like, you better not just be like, I got purple hair, fuck you, right? I got a septum ring as a judge. Minnesota emergency request to block the Trump administration. No, they said, no, can't do that. Now, what's funny, and this is why I like to say their names. This was Saturday morning this came out. U.S. District Judge Catherine Menendez, one of the ones we've mentioned before. She wrote that the court must view plaintiffs' claims through the lens of the specific legal framework they invoke, and having done so, finds that plaintiffs have not met their burden. The motion is denied. So, whatever argument they made, it wasn't sufficient enough to tell the President of the United States he can't go into a place that's obviously having destruction happening. Obviously having destruction. And it's getting worse. Minnesota Democrats, they just blocked an amendment that would ensure vicious crimes committed by illegal aliens are reported to ICE. They blocked an amendment to report criminals doing crime, and they happen to be illegal aliens on top of that. So specifically, you don't want to deal with them. In fact, in most cases, most of these sanctuary cities put them right back out on the street. No bail cities in almost all cases. I don't know about all. In many cases. It's for everyone. That's why people are like, Dan, how do you not stroke out when you watch this? Because I know it's not for me. So I don't take it as personal, even though I should get like that more when people like, you're a commie. It's like, I'd probably read more comments if there weren't so many douchey people in the world. That's all I can say, guys. It just kind of ruins it. Makes it like, why would I want to subject myself to that? Just to hear a couple of you say some nice stuff or interesting stuff, right? Like, nah, a lot of trash out there. You guys have ways. By the way, it reminds me. I was talking about it earlier. The $5 thing's still going to happen. $5 foot long. We're still doing that on the 21st of this month. I'm not going to do the 25 one anymore. We're not going to do the broadcast show. But I did still like the idea of people like, it's $5 reoccurring donation. Not asking for a lot, but if you want to hang out, you can cancel it after. You're like, that guy's a dick. Totally, it's up to you. But if you want to show up and you have a reoccurring, meaning you got like a monthly subscription, that's all. You can cancel anytime, but you got a monthly subscription. That's how I pull the report. Sorry, hate to say it, but that's how the report gets pulled. If you're paying $5 on thefringe.locals.com, onthefringe.locals.com. It's all tied into Rumble and stuff, but it's if you got a subscription, essentially, it's cool. It just helps. And so we'll be sending out that, and that'll be on the 21st. That's kind of an advertisement, but that, it's not the same. $5, and we're going to talk, and I have a couple questions for you guys. That was kind of one of the things I wanted to mention too. I got like two weird questions that, would piss off most of the audience. It might piss you guys off too, but I mean, I'd rather take it in small scale than like just, a bunch of people throwing shit at me. Anyway, I got a couple crazy questions I want to ask my panel of friends. So, and you guys want to be a part of that? $5, subscription thing, basically. On the fringe.locals.com. There you go. Anyways, Minnesota Democrats just blocked an amendment. So, fuck these people. We're done with them. Government official who tried to bar Doge from inspecting his books pleads guilty to corruption. Again, people who scream loudest. This is funny. With Mathieu G. Zahui, the director of financial management for the United States African Development Foundation, that U.S. ADF thing that we were just talking about, that the senators are going to fund, and that one guy that was going out for a smoke was telling us about Mr. Utah. I'm sure he's not smoking because he's probably Mormon, but I mean, he's not smoking. Anyway, he was charged and agrees to plead guilty in federal court on Friday to criminal allegations that he accepted kickbacks. It was a decent chunk of money, but again, these are people making hundreds of thousands of dollars. This guy, I think, the actual politician, it's really sad. He got like 12 grand, which is good, but the dude that paid him 12 grand made $134,000 in extra money. He got to overbill. So either A, he's really bad at budgeting, and he doesn't even know how to budget, like highball a budget, and still, and then you get to keep the extra kickback. Stupid. But Zahui faces a combined maximum of 7 years in prison. And it's one more scar on the big picture. And again, this was, where's he living? I guess if I'm just wondering, it's just, the U.S. Marshals. Anyway, they got him. They punked his ass. Chief Jim McDonnell says his department will not enforce the mask ban on federal agents. He's like, it's illegal. Where's he at? LAPD. Oh, nice. Really? You're going to be like that? All right.
The reality of one armed agency approaching another armed agency to create conflict over something that would be a misdemeanor at best or an infraction, it doesn't make any sense. It's not a good public policy decision, and it wasn't well thought out in my opinion.
Yeah, so he's like essentially, F you. Because what's going to happen is it's illegal for them as a law enforcement officer to try to apprehend another law enforcement officer doing their jobs. It's illegal. So what would happen is the cop would get arrested. Oh, I was following orders. That's cool. Tell it to the judge. You're going to be in jail tonight, motherfucker. So, as the world turns. Scam Act introduced to revoke citizenship of migrants who commit fraud. Neat idea. I don't know why it's not already against the law. I think it is. Shouldn't we just make sure the laws that we have, we follow them? But maybe they need a law. Maybe they need to codify this. That's cool. A senator, Eric Schmidt, never heard of this dude. He's introducing the Stop Citizens Abuse and Misrepresentation Act, Scam Act. It sounds cool. I don't trust him because he's part of the Senate. I think he's trying to, protect himself, whatever. That's cool. If I was about to get kicked in the nards, I'd probably put my hands down there and try to cover him up beforehand. Strong chance. I don't want to play it because I don't care what he thinks. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it gets anywhere. Yeah, it's one thing. Oh, I'm going to introduce it. All right, introduce it. Shake weight yourself all over that thing. That's fine. But new SNAP work requirement rules to start February 1st in multiple states. The new work requirement, a lot of people, oh my God, I'm going to have to actually work and I can't just get free shit. No, you're able-bodied. I mean, you might be overweight. Don't get me wrong. But there's lots you could do. Get you on that phone sex stuff. Big, giant, fat lady. They usually have brilliant, beautiful voices. Just start saying, what are you wearing right now? Right? Like, make the government like $18 a minute or some shit. That'd be great. Do that. And then pay them, I don't know, some paltry amount of money because they're not smart enough to do that on their own because they're too lazy. Sounds kind of mean, but whatever. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's finally starting. Yay. Activist judge, he's blocking key parts of Trump executive order on verifying citizenship to vote. A federal judge on Friday blocked key provisions of President Trump's order that require proof of citizenship. Of course, it's going to, right? You guys know this, right? It's like one of my commercials, right? It's going to happen like it always does. It's going to they're going to appeal it. Hopefully the appellate court's not a total idiot, but whatever. And fast go to the Supreme Court. It will. This stuff for the elections is going to be quick. So maybe this one wants to get spun up too. We'll see. And then again, the Brunson case, I wonder someday. That's getting close. That's starting to like heat up a little bit in my mind. Who is this person? Executive Commission established. U.S. District Judge Colleen Collar-Codley, Clinton judge, is who said he can't do this. What is her reasoning? Said that the U.S. Constitution does not allow the president to impose unilateral changes to federal election procedures. Insisting the framers gave powers over election rules to the parts of the government that they believed would most be responsive to the will of the people. You mean the people that would gain the most from rigging them in their favor? President would too. Interesting. I don't think that's again, I wonder about these judges. She's got all sorts of BS. I mean, she's a FISA judge. She's deep state as deep state gets. So they're sacrificing their own to do this. And she's quite the looker, obviously. That is not real hair. Please tell me that's not real hair. She's got the little cups so you can hear everything. I bet this bitch can hear everything with that. Like the hair just cups around the ear. She's like, oh my God, I can hear you from a mile away. Ah, fucking crazy bitch. All right, sorry guys. I'm having fun. Judge orders release 5-year-old and his son, or his father, from ICE detention. Again, it makes it sound like the kid was in jail. That's just crazy as shit in the world. He was probably in some sort of what care or something, but yeah. No, we had him in jail, man. Fuck that kid. Yeah, he was serving time. Had him out there banging on rocks. Fuck that little fucker with his cute hat. Senate GOP fails to halt welfare funding for non-citizens. They do. That's it fails to halt it. This is U.S. Senate. Right? This guy's like, I'm going to make a motion that we're going to do this. Okay, Senator. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one. U.S. Senate Republicans failed to halt over $5 billion funding for refugees, with 20 GOP senators joining every Senate Democrat to continue providing costly taxpayer benefits to refugees. Rand Paul, of course, introduced this End Welfare for Non-Citizens Act. Really? Rand Paul, you're one of the Republicans that voted for it? I'm shocked. But yeah, the Senate failed. 95% of them fuckers go. And Rand Paul, you're not going to make it. I don't even know. You'd have to do some really outrageously cool shit in the next very few short periods of time. And it's very unlikely that's going to happen. Nonetheless, I know there's games I got to play, so I don't know, whatever. We'll see. Maybe I get to be wrong. That'd be fantastic. Maybe there's like 15 of them. Maybe. That'd be cool. I'd be happy. Yeah, whatever. We'll see what happens. Detroit judge accused of targeting vulnerable, incapacitated citizens in an embezzlement scheme. So if they're like incapacitated, like legally, then they like, what do they? Either they don't forfeit all their money, but they have to pay some sort of fee, or here it is. According to the indictment, probate courts regularly appoint guardians and conservators to manage the personal and financial affairs of adults, known as wards. They have been found by the court to lack the capacity to do so themselves. Guardians and conservators are fiduciaries who are obligated to act as the best interest of their wards. The indictment alleges that Nancy Williams owned Guardian and Associates, an agency that was appointed as a fiduciary by Wayne County Probate Court for incapacitated wards in over 1,000 cases. This lady, judge, owned the company she was sending these people to. She was getting the money from it. And who knows if she was even doing a good job. Todd Blanche just kind of torched Stephanopoulos. They say, torched. They sometimes use, larger than life words. But his answer was solid, that's for sure.
So when do you believe that Mr. Lemon crossed the line from reporting on what was going on to criminal activity?
Conveniently missing from what you just showed, George, is the appellate court and a judge on the appellate court who said just a few days later there was clearly probable cause and it wasn't even a close question. So, and by the way, a grand jury, which is what our system has set up to determine whether probable cause exists, concluded that there was probable cause. That indictment is now public. Everybody in this country can pull it up and read for themselves and see what the grand jury found that Mr. Lemon did. I am not going to comment on the charges specifically because it's not appropriate, but it's interesting that we talk about the First Amendment right. You have a right of freedom of religion, which is just as important as any other right that we have. And George, I don't know if you've watched the videos or read the indictment about what it's alleged that Mr. Lemon did, but if anybody in this country thinks that is, quote, independent journalism, I would like to have a conversation with you. Now, he's obviously has a very good lawyer. He can raise defenses in court to the extent he wants to, but nobody in this country should feel comfortable storming into a church while it's ongoing and disrupting that church service and thinking that we're just going to stand by and let that happen, because there is a statute that does not allow that to happen. It doesn't matter if you happen to be a former CNN journalist. It doesn't matter if you're a rioter. It doesn't matter if you think you're peacefully protesting. You are not allowed to do that.
Yeah, and it gets even deeper. This is all the Don Lemon stuff. And here we have, Michael Knowles. He's intellectually pummeling Chris Cuomo, which probably not terribly difficult. He's not an idiot, but he's not smart either.
The president just arrested 2 journalists. Now I think that he's almost in double down mode. I thought he was in de-escalate mode. Now he's having journalists arrested.
Well, he arrested journalists for committing crimes and then filming themselves committing crimes and then talking and admitting on camera to committing those crimes. So, just because you say you're a journalist doesn't mean he violated the FACE Act in 18 U.S. Code Section 241, among others.
You think he used force? Yeah, well, look, just because you know the number of the statute, bravo, you probably know the acronym.
I just read the indictment.
But they also want to throw the Ku Klux Klan Act after him. The indictment, as a lawyer, let me tell you, not an impressive document. And you should read into why that felony complaint that they tried originally got signed. Well, no, they're worried. They're worried about the application. They're worried about the application.
They like Don Lemon.
How did Don Lemon or Georgia Fort use force or intimidation? How did they use force or intimidation? Fundamental part of the mens rea of that statute. How?
Chris, I think it's laudable that you want to defend your friend. Don Lemon said on camera that the purpose of the event that he was actively participating in was to traumatize people. And he said that is good. That is what that is for. He went in there. He admitted on camera. You're believing the woman who organized it for some reason. You're not believing Don Lemon, your own friend. He said that he knew a secret. He knew about what they were doing in advance. He wouldn't say it on camera. He served coffee to his fellow activists in there. He violated the FACE Act. He conspired against rights. Very important point. You cannot claim First Amendment protections while you actively violate the First Amendment rights of others. My friend, Chris Bell, his wife, Joan Bell, was in prison for 27 months over this for an abortion clinic.
And that's the thing they don't get. both First Amendment, right to protest, but also the right to observe my religion. And when you literally go into holy spaces and interrupt someone's First Amendment rights with a First Amendment right, you don't trounce them. You're actually going against someone else's First Amendment right at that moment. Now, again, the ones that waited for the people outside, it's kind of a different story, and that's really, 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 really fudged up. I guess I'm going to draw the line there where I'm going to use the F word. Don Lemon Speaks, of course, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet because it's probably going to piss me off.
I need sunglasses.
Need a lot more than that, dip fuck.
How are you? Wow. Can everybody hear me? Are you guys set? Everybody ready? So look, I want to thank everybody for their support. It truly means the world to me. I had no idea what's going on because obviously I haven't seen anything. I've spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again, I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
Yeah, it was weird. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, like, I don't know if it's legal or not to actually talk about, you know, like if someone like him had people like that were always like around, like, you know, he's having dinner with his husband and, you know, and suddenly there's like 5 people that are just peacefully, quietly being annoying, you know, not necessarily making noise per se, but certainly probably not belonging where they are. I mean, happens with them. I was like, why is it even legal to talk about something like that? I was like, that's really like a really weird question. And I wonder if it is, because like that would suck if something like that happened to one of their people, right? Like that would be horrible. So yeah, it's just a weird question. I don't know why I shared it with you guys. I was just wondering out loud. Sorry about that. Strange. It's weird how it works. Expecting their client will be indicted in Florida. John Brennan's legal team is preparing a defense starting with a motion seeking to recuse Judge Eileen Cannon. We know her name because she's one of the only good ones. Arguing she was a fact witness in an act in furtherance of the conspiracy, the Mar-a-Lago raid. I love it. He's going to try to pull anything, any dirt and shade he can. And again, what's funny, right? Because they always get their judges. Odd that Brennan ends up with Eileen Cannon. I'm sure it was an accident, right? Because it's random how they're chosen. It's totally random. Yeah, of course. Love it. California. All right. If you didn't think we were stupid already, again, got a pry bar? Go to the border, organize, because it can be hard just one of you at a time. Like, you guys got to kind of really do it together, I think. But just throw that pry bar in there right at the border and just heave ho. Just push us right off into the ocean. It should work. It should work. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend. California group, they're opposing property tax hike. Billionaires tax. Yeah, there's a lot of rich people that live here. And they're like, yeah, no, we know we're next. You kidding? Rich people are saying, not necessarily people like myself. It'll be a while before they whittle down to me, let me say. But yeah, no, they're coming for all of us. California's dying. And so there's this, they want to jack the property tax. They want to jack taxes like on everything. In fact, they're talking about this. This is just an example of one city. Really should have put this after other stories, but California City's self-checkout proposal. Okay, so here's the logic that happens in a Californian's mind, apparently, or at least someone that's in government. All right, they're like, all right, we got this problem. Self-checkouts. People are shopping and they're going through self-checkouts and they're stealing stuff. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make it harder for people to shop as self-shoppers because it supposedly is going to somehow help them steal less stuff. I mean, if they're going to steal, there's 15 items or less, you'll still steal one of them, right? But whatever. So we're now going to make it harder for people to shop through self-service shopping. And if for some reason you don't have 3 people working for every, or 1 person working for every 3 self-checkouts, so you can like monitor the theft. This is city council that's making this law, by the way. It's not Ralph's or Kroger coming up with this idea. No. It's Costa Mesa City Council. So now the store has to actually employ more people to meet the needs of the city council. What's the store going to do? I mean, all honesty, the store would close. But this is what the city council, she's probably got blue hair, whoever put this through, blue, pink, purple, that changes probably weekly. I can kind of see her. Oh, God, it's gross. Yeah, there's things I've seen I can't unsee. God, that was mean. That was mean. Whoever that was mean. Costa Mesa City Council, fuck them. Again. Drivers. Now, so in California, we've got all these people with electric cars because they said you have to have electric cars to save the planet, save the universe, save the globe. And then a whole bunch of people bought electric cars, and California's like, shit, we don't sell as much gas as we used to, so now we're not making as much money in our gas tax. We've got to find a way to tax those motherfuckers. So they're going to tax people with EVs. What's funny about this is most people with EVs are on the progressive side of life already. Or Asian, because there's a lot of Asian people that own Teslas, I've noticed. And I love every one of you guys. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying. You know, you guys are smart, you're sensible. You probably have solar at home. It's why you pay. Yeah, 100%. The problem is now they're going to charge us mileage tax. My thing is like, dude, like if you're still going to charge me gas tax with my gas-powered car every time I buy gas, then you better not be charging me mileage too. Because now you're double taxing me. I'm curious. Anyway, this is going to piss everybody off. California's broke. California's desperate. California's like, we've got to find a way. Cities are freaking out. Oh, cities want to raise taxes and they're going to get fucked. Democrat Party's toast. We shared that slide earlier. Millions of Californians furious after Democrat official plans a tax on miles driven. I don't want to play the 2 minutes because it's not worth it. But yeah, it's going to cost people $1,200 to $4,000 a year. Now, it's roughly the taxes you pay if you buy gas. Well, I don't know. You buy gas. Actually, that'd be way worse. Yeah, because they want to charge you like 2 cents, 3 cents. It was in the story. It's like, it's so disgusting. They want to charge, it was a few cents, like 2, 3, 4 cents per mile. It's disgusting. It was just like, damn. Like, yeah, that's nothing about this is good. I forget what the number was. I thought I saw it. It was just painful. Painful. We got the highest gas tax already, too, by the way. Highest gas prices in the nation minus Hawaii. Come on, it's in friggin' Hawaii. New Yorkers, they're raising a stink. They're all pissed off right now because, they have a trash problem because it's been so cold. I get it, but first off, I wonder why New York has so many rats. Huh. I don't know. I mean, let me think about that for a second. Maybe I'll figure it out. Possible. I might have an idea. Fucking disgusting. This is disgusting. It's the greatest city in the world. Oh my God, New York. Long ago, maybe. Jeez. Long ago, maybe. That's a bus stop, for Christ's sake. Oh, it's next to the next trash pile. That's where that bus stop is. You want? Yeah, there you go. That's where it's at. There you go. And nobody would be that nice in New York anyway. No offense. I'm not trying to be a dick to New Yorkers. I got a good friend. She didn't live in the city proper. I'm not ripping on people in the state. I know there's a lot of lovely people in the state. People that are silly enough to live in the city. I don't know what you guys call Manhattan area and all that. Well, that's part of the city, isn't it? Whatever. The part that's disgusting. Yeah, if you live there, gross. Legislator advances bill to add justices to Utah. This is what scared me earlier. They're saying they're doing this because they're trying to wrestle it back from the Democrat control. And this passed the House. They approved it. I assume Governor Spencer signed it in. And so this adds 2 justices to the state Supreme Court. This is messing with the number of justices. This is very much what people do when they take control. This is what the Democrats wanted to do to the Supreme Court. This is what Governor Spencer Cox is approving. And he's saying this is to take back control. You all in Utah, especially you LDS people, I hope you guys are all the shit you say you are, because you guys are generally really awesome. I pray to God that you guys are going to take care of your state, because you got some serious corruption in your ranks. And you guys are weirdly cool to each other. You got to get that figured out. LA Olympic boss Casey Wesserman deeply regrets emails with Ghislaine Maxwell. Here's the thing. There's a lot of Ghislaine. There's a lot of Epstein crap. I don't think I even got to the part with Trump yet. We'll get there soon. But yeah, pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. She's bummed she had a relationship with him. She's the LA Olympics boss. A whole bunch of people are busted in this. I mean, Gates is all over it. Prince Andrew's all over it. There's just people are digging into it. Oh, yeah. Musk is all over it. It's kind of funny, too. After Musk was giving shit to Trump, I don't know if that was ever the plan. I don't know if that was one of the things that Trump told him. He's like, look, you wanted to go to his island. I got the emails right here. I've seen him. And Musk was probably like, fuck, man, they've got everything. God bless. All right. Yeah. You're right. And Trump's like, so here's what's up. You're going to go ahead and accuse me of it. And it's going to come back on you. And you're going to take it like a champ. And you'll be fine. And he's probably like, all right. That's probably after he got in the exchange with Besant. And Besant punched him in the face. And he got his bruise from his little child that supposedly hit him. Now, here's some of the Epsteins. Again, be careful when you become the monster, man. Just be careful, guys. That's all I can say. Cuidado, right? Wet floor, be careful. This was from Jeffrey Epstein. G Vacation was the email. gvacation@gmail.com. That's interesting. Vacation@gmail.com. That was Epstein's email. At least one of. Jeffrey Epstein. It would work. And he's probably got a middle name that's an E, but anyway. Vacation. Interesting. He says, where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video. Guys, rabbit hole. This one here, this Jeffrey Epstein emailed Michael Wolff in 2019 in which he admits that President Trump never got a message while at his house. This is another blow. And this Wolff guy was one of the people that was making up stuff. And Trump talks about that here. And, he's going to be suing this mofo.
What did you think of the latest release of Epstein files, and do you think your critics will be satisfied with this release?
Like this guy Wolff, who's a writer, was conspiring with Epstein to do harm to me. And I didn't see it myself, but I was told by some very important people that not only does it absolve me, it's the opposite of what people were hoping, the radical left, that Wolff, who's a third-rate writer, was conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to hurt me, politically or otherwise, and that came through loud and clear. So we'll probably sue Wolff on that.
Did you speak, or did you have any knowledge?
Maybe the Epstein estate, I guess. I don't know, but we're going to certainly sue Wolff.
Going to sue the Epstein estate?
You may. I guess so, because he was conspiring with Wolff to do harm to me politically.
Yeah, that's this whole group's coming down. Amid allegations of cover-up, House Judiciary Committee members seek access to the full Epstein case files. They're like, wait, we were promised that there was dirt on Trump. All you've shown us is a bunch of our people with crap all over them. And I'm sure whoever they say that to goes, that was always the plan. Trump knew he was clear. Everybody, and again, how many people on our side of the fence revealed themselves as, Trump's probably in the Epstein file, right? Instantly, they go the other direction. Careful, guys. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Your mind, your information, what you intake. It's up to you. Sometimes, I think, partially why I make a longer video. For some of you that actually enjoy it, at least you're getting good news, and it's someone that's hopefully making it entertaining. All right, barely the one commercial, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Again, it's the first of the month. I'm just like, let's take a day off for all of us. All right? Giving a day off to every one of us. China silver price today. Shanghai premiums. This is what China's charging in silver today. $122.38. $122, which is basically where it was in our market prior to Friday. Now, there's this Bitcoin guy that's like nuts, frankly, but he was just loving it. He's like, ha, 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 ha. Even though, by the way, Bitcoin's down a lot, kind of, right now, by the way. Not anything to brag about, per se, but so I'm just like, when I talked about it Friday, I'm like, well, I knew what was up, but the fact that it moved $28 in one day is insane. That means, likely, and all you people out there that are like, there's no way that these banks are that exposed. That means there was a coordinated effort to drive the price down. How else can you do that? Shanghai spot showing $122. Price of silver didn't go down in any way, shape, or form. Now, we're cut off from these guys in some way, shape, in regard. We're cut off from them somewhat in many ways. Just trying not to say the same damn thing over. Ours dropped $28. That's an insane move. In fact, there was no stops on that one either, which is strange. Anytime it moves in the upward direction too fast, they get freaked out. Usually when it goes down too fast, they freak out. But I don't think they froze silver, by the way. So think about why and who and how. How could you do that? Probably a lot of paper contracts. Our currency is likely in a very, 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 very bad place. Again, this is why I think precious metals is a good idea. The fact that the price dropped down to $85 for the moment, it is not going to last. It's going to spike again. So this is one of those things where time is now and there's not much later now because we're about to get very, very crazy. You guys think about this. It's like, have you ever seen a top spin, right? Any sort of top or any sort of gyroscope thingy? As it starts to slow down, it starts to wobble, right? And as it slows more and more, it wobbles more and more, and it gets bigger on the wobbles. The wobbles are getting bigger. Stock market doesn't really mean anything. It's a bunch of fake bullshit anyway. It's so overpriced. Gold and silver is about the only thing on this market that's sort of real, and a lot of the paper contracts that they probably just dumped into the market are probably going to screw them even further. It kicked the can down the road, but it created a giant, big old debt bubble for them. And so it's making it worse. This will be the thing that destroys the banks. The bad ones, anyways. The ones that are doing stupid shit will be destroyed. We could probably guess on a few of the names. So again, if you guys have a 401k or an IRA, get out. Tax-free, penalty-free, up to 10% free silver. You can actually get a free Ronald Reagan coin that's silver, coin 0.99% pure, if you can call within 20 minutes. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system, seriously, while you can. That's all I can say. And while you can even get the stuff. Silver and gold are going to be very hard to get here in the very near future, so get ready. U.S. approved a couple major arms sales to Israel and Saudi Arabia, about $6.6 billion. Interesting number. Not quite 666. They added one, so that's interesting. That's cool. So $6.67 billion investment to Israel, which is, I think, symbolic. And to Saudi Arabia, they get $9 billion completion. I like the 9 number, much better number, clean number. But 667, that could have been different. It would have been different if that was the Biden administration. It would have been triple dig. Would have been. China, they've been spying on UK and, well, really, I think Five Eyes probably through UK. I think this is a big part of why a lot of the Five Eyes stuff has been sort of renegotiated. I remember back in the day, there was some cut off from other members, and I bet a lot of it's because of this. China, UK, you guys are, well, at least England. Yeah, you guys, London proper. Sorry, that you guys are doing some crazy ass shit. I don't know what's going on in England. It's not my fight. I hope you guys are rippling your own country because, frankly, we got problems of our own. I'm more worried about us, frankly. Treasury Department today. Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control took additional action against Iran, so they're trying to, get ready for this. Something's up. There's a lot of tension. There's a carrier battle group nearby. They're making noise from the Treasury side. They're going after Iran and their regime. I don't know. Yeah. So we are seeing something kind of crazy happening there. Now, interestingly, Israel doing stuff, and again, probably not being the best about their explanations of it, but 2 explosions reported in Iran. And Israel's like, yeah, it wasn't us. That blew up on its own. Swear to God. All right. Doubt it, but maybe it's another pager experience. I don't know. These explosions, you guys tell me, fancy explosive people, blew out the front pretty damn good. I mean, yeah, that was a pretty big boom. If it was maybe in this room here, this middle one, I would assume. Because it broke up. Wow. Damn. That was a big bomb. Something happened. Anyways, Israeli forces conducted airstrikes across Gaza, killing at least 32 people. This is supposed to be a ceasefire, but they're going to say, and I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm just saying what they're going to say is that these guys, we hit weapons caches, we hit people that were coming out, there's supposedly people coming out of a tunnel that didn't regard the weapon ceasefire. Maybe they shot at Israeli troops. So Israel's like, they just, and then they come in with like nukes and blow up 2 people or whatever. I guess 32 people maybe. So they took out another little stronghold. Apparently that's what I think they were doing. That was trying to ratchet up strength. But nowadays you can't say anything positive, or you have to be negative about Israel. You're just so funny how we are. You have to say things a certain way. If you don't say it just right, you're not okay. Venezuela unveils amnesty bill for mass release of political prisoners. So they're doing well and good on what they were supposed to do. These political prisoners specifically, these might be some of the people who might help run the country when they can get them out. So this is part of the Fix Venezuela process, and we'll see how that plays out in the months to come. 5 insights into the trilateral Russian-Ukrainian-U.S. talks. They are making progress. This really all has to come down to land, how they handle the land, how they handle pulling out of the land likely. So, again, there's a couple key areas that Russia's like, no, we're definitely, these are ours. And so they're working on a way to accept it. One of them requires a withdrawal of Ukrainian people from this area. But what they're talking about doing is turning maybe that area into a buffer zone. And we might actually have a couple NATO troops just there. And Russia might be okay with that. We'll see. Again, this is all what we're hearing. I don't know how much is actually being leaked. I doubt a lot is actually being leaked. But, well, I don't know. Some of the people involved would totally leak it. Can't help themselves. We'll see. Stuff's getting close, guys. It's getting super close. Huge verdict could destroy gender transition for minors in the industry. Jury on Friday found a psychologist and a surgeon liable for malpractice after they convinced a 16-year-old to do this and altered her life forever. Those people got in big trouble, so that's awesome. Former Google engineer has been convicted for spying for China, which is super sucky. Super duper sucky, maybe even. Very sad story, and I got 2 deaths, so just get ready for the happy news here. It's coming up in a second, but yeah, people die. It's happening. Famed Notre Dame coach, Hall of Fame, reportedly moves to hospice care. It's very sad. Legendary college football coach Lou Holtz, 89 years old. Yeah, they got him in hospice now, guys. Very sad. We're probably going to lose him. Beautiful man. Sanford and Son actor Grady Demond Wilson, dead at 79. I wanted to play the song so badly, but it's just going to get me in trouble. It won't matter. And then this chick, I just remember her being so politically scary, but whatever. I remember her from Beetlejuice. Home Alone wasn't a big movie in my mind. I think I saw the first one, but whatever. Catherine O'Hara, Emmy-winning actor and comedian who starred in Schitt's Creek. That's SCH. I wasn't cussing. SCTV and Home Alone. She died at 71. I don't even mention the movie I liked, which is Beetlejuice. She was awesome in that. She was very young, but it was very cool. Great movie. Jump in the saddle. All said. I love you guys. A lot going on. This week, again, silver's a crazy thing. That's concerning. Iran probably happening any day, any second, any moment. Like my video is probably right now, and there's bombs coming down. It's like going to happen any second. I can kind of see it happening. So I don't know what exactly they're going to be hitting, but we've heard stuff around the ability for Iran to hold down protesters is what they would go for. Stuff to that effect. Command and control, C2, we were talking about in that particular case. So we'll see. There is a lot in the election stuff. What happens in Georgia, the proof that's coming out around that. Again, ripple, folks. Keep at it, because we're at game time, big time. It's go time. It's happening time. It's now time. So, yep, vacation's over. If you were on one, it's time to get literally serious about this stuff, because we're going into the heart of it, and it's going to be interesting. So be strong, guys. I love you. I'll be here with you. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.